Go ahead.
We do apologize, but I like kids to tell people things that mean something to them. I appreciate those three seniors. It was a big time win. It was ugly as it could be. The last 6 minutes, I think we made no field goals. Cam stepped to the free throw line, made two big free throws. Garrison stepped up and had really struggled and made two big free throws. Kobe was a mess there for a while. It was hard for people to handle. I loved coaching those seniors. Can you imagine how lucky I've been? There's something else. Okay, anybody got any questions?
Kenny, on his last home game here, kind of doing all the different things he did, especially drawing those two charges on Barrett. How big was his overall
I thought he had a third one. Okay. No, I think it was, he's our best perimeter defender. He's been that his entire career. He showed it again today, and I was happy that some of his shots went. I think that may have been the most threes he's made all year in one game, 4 out of 7. And he wheeled a couple of them in the hole. One time when the guy's falling down beside him and he's standing there wide open, he wheeled the ball in the hole.
How would you describe the feelings you had before the game during the ceremony?
Before the game, during the ceremony, just want everybody to clap like crazy so we can so we can play the game. But this is a hard day for me. You guys know me, or most of you do. I'm pretty emotional, and this is a hard day for me because I want our seniors to go out the right way, and to me, that means win. And this is a hard day, but it's pretty neat right now.
Roy, the seniors scored their first 12 points coming out of halftime, kind of flipped the momentum there. Was that something they had talked about in halftime? Can take the lead there?
I talked to them about halftime as we hadn't done what we wanted to do. We hadn't played the way we wanted to play, but the good news was we had 20 more minutes to play better. And we had to play with our brain and our heart both, and the toughness had to be there. And those three guys did step up, to say the least, at the start of it.
Coach, Kenny and Nas had went 9-16 in the first half. First half at 21 of y'all's 38 points. How big were they in keeping y'all within striking distance of Duke?
Well, Nasir was, I think he had 8 of his 9 at halftime, and that was big. And who else did you say?
Kenny.
Yeah, well, Kenny's. His career, he's been a better scorer than he has this year, but he struggled from the three-point line this year, and the ball had gone in the basket. But anybody that scored 8 points for us in the first half was big. I mean, we're down 2, so it's pretty.
People are going to make the asterisk, if you will, that Zion didn't play.
Frankly, my dear.
And
if people need me to spell that out, I can spell that out for them. In 2012, I thought we had the best team in the country. And John Henson was hurt, and Kendall Marshall didn't go play. So, frankly, my dear, and I'm from the South.
Roy, do you think people have actually underappreciated your team this season?
Somebody else, believe it or not, somebody is a brain like you too, asked me the same question. Perhaps, but I really don't get into that. I think, Pat, I really enjoy the kids, and we talk about our own dreams and goals. I mean, I have a telephone, and I can text somebody, and if they text me, I can read it. I don't read the internet. I still don't know whether it's tweet or twit, and so I don't read all the junk. And basically, the bottom line for us is to have great kids and win, and I think we've done that.
But they do. Your guys read twit and tweet, right?
Yeah.
So they know. Do you think that they play that way a little bit?
I haven't brought it up, so if they have it as individual motivation, that's okay. I tell everybody we've got to do it out on the court, and that's what we try to focus on, is being the best team we can be. And I mean, 3 seniors like that. I mean, all 3 of those guys are fantastic students and just good people. But no, there have been times that I've played the underappreciated card or no respect card, but I don't think I've said anything like that all year this year.
Roy, Mike was talking almost wistfully about when he had teams like this that had seniors. He mentioned the 2010 team and things like that. And he's obviously gone a different route. What is it that's enabled you over the years to keep these groups of guys coming through? So you have guys who, Luke played a role in 2017, but now they're kind of forging their own legacy.
Well, what caused it? Because I couldn't get any of those recruits at Duke and Kentucky died. So, again, I'm okay if I'm fairly confident. You give me really good kids, we'll play really, really hard, and we're going to win. Some games that maybe we should. And Kenny and Luke, neither one of those guys were in the top 100. But Kenny and Luke sets him off and says, "You're never going to have anybody that's going to work as hard as I'm going to work." And as a coach, if you don't love that, and Kenny, you know, gave us a second chance when I thanked Shaka 2 or 3 times. We appreciated him leaving. But having those kind of kids, and there's nothing wrong. I mean, what Duke and Kentucky have done, I have nothing against that. Like I say, I tried to recruit those kids myself. But whoever shows up in a North Carolina practice jersey, we want to try to coach the dickens out of them, and they're such hard-working kids because we do look at character maybe more than anybody else. I like that.
Folks, we're not going to be offended if you have to leave to get the players, but take a few more questions for Coach. But if you have to get up and get the players, go ahead.
Coach Smith used to talk about the regular season or first place finish being even more impressive to him than the ACC tournament title. This is 18 for you in 31 years, which is one of the highest percentages in the country. And you've had some of your greatest postseason success, almost all of it, with regular season champions. How do you define what this tells you about your
Well, I
team?
was raised, you know, as a student in North Carolina, I learned more about basketball than I ever had. And as a high school coach for 5 years, I still listen to what Coach Smith said, and I was fortunate enough to be with him for 10 years. And I do really believe what he was saying, that it's harder to accomplish something over a 2.5, 3 month period than it is 3 or 4 days. The ACC now, I mean, I was in the ACC when there were only 7 teams. Now there's 15 teams. So I'm proud of that, but we set goals, and that's the first goal we set. You know, we hopefully have some other goals, and fortunately we've reached some of them 3 different times. But that is the first goal we set because it's sustaining something. I think it's harder to sustain something than it is to go have a great year and then all of a sudden bad. And I'm proud of that, there's no question. But Coach Smith taught me a heck of a lot, and almost all of them were really good.
Roy, at 75-60, your team went 6 minutes without scoring, but Duke only scored 10 points that period and had a lot of empty possessions. How were your guys able to forget about the woeful offense and lock down on defense?
I just kept screaming up and down, let's guard, 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 guard. You know, and I think that they tried to do that. You'd have to ask Mike about this. It looked to me like maybe they rushed a couple of those shots. But we were fortunate that they missed them. I like to think our defense did a couple of things to help us, but I kept telling them the game was going to be won on the defensive end of the floor. I said that every time out in the second half, and their inability to score to close it from the 75 to 70 or whatever you said was huge, because the only thing we were doing was taking bad shots, taking good shots and missing them, or going to the free throw line. And fortunately, we made some free throws.
Roy, you mentioned that Luke story a couple of times in the past few days about him sitting in your office and saying, no one's going to outwork me.
Yeah.
Why does that story stick out in your head so much?
Because number one, he did it. You know, talk is cheap. I've had a lot of guys say, man, I'm going to show you how hard I work. Every Christmas, I work harder one day than some guys working a week. But Luke May, even last night, we were up here at 9:36. I walked out of the building. And Luke and Cam were down in the locker room waiting to go out and shoot some more last night. So I like gym rats, and he may be the biggest gym rat I've ever known.
Anybody else? You want nice enough to wait, so I want to make sure. Go ahead.
Coach, I know all wins are nice, but how would you encapsulate the difference in emotion between a normal win and beating Duke?
Believe it or not, the satisfaction that I feel right now is not in beating Duke. The satisfaction I feel is seniors winning on their last home game. And the fact that it gives us co-champions in the league, and then beating Duke is third. And it really is. And that may not be what everybody likes to hear, but it's the truth. I mean, winning, the higher level you go and the tougher the win is, you got to beat some teams and programs that are really great. And their program is fantastic. And let's be honest, whether it's an asterisk or not, because frankly I don't. But they didn't have Zion again today, and then Bolden got hurt as well. We understand that, and it's that made the game much different than it might have been. But also, if it had been a higher level game on their end, I sort of think my guys may have played a little bit higher level too, and I like that.
Everybody good? All right.